Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Well, that's right. Kevin.
Hey, this is Kevin. I can't get the...
We'll try it one more time before we get around to voting on anything. Roll call, right?
Not yet.
Okay, roll call.
Persing?
Here.
Snyder?
No.
Martello?
Here.
Troop? Ister?
Redevelopment Authority update. They're going to meet next week to get the list together. Is there anybody SRI here today?
That's not the first
Okay. I don't know if anyone wanted to bring anything up. That's Redevelopment Authority. So they'll be meeting as far as putting the list together. We're trying to get that to the point where everybody knows exactly where we're at. And Michael won't be here tonight, but we'll find out from Michael exactly where they're at the court system. There's 6 new ones. Again, I think we said that the last meeting brings us up to 25 that are with the judge right now, but I'm not sure what, if any of them have been ruled on. So we'll be talking about that at the next meeting even more. What I do want to talk about tonight a little bit is I want to go to what I call a Phase 2 proposal for the Redevelopment Authority. I wasn't successful in my committee that I tried to get the code office and I think Kevin was on that night and Councilman Meister was the same thing. That didn't work out, but my goal always was to get, we need to get a second phase, and the second phase is, we don't, some people think that the Redevelopment Authority, we just want to go out and tear down buildings, and that's not the answer. We want to tear down the ones that clearly people walk away from and are sitting there until the end of time if we don't do something with them. So we need to address that. But in the same sense, we need to address some areas that we want to be able to salvage some of these and be able to help some of these people to fix these ones up so 5 years from now we're not tearing them down. So I want to go into a Phase 2, and Council has them in front of them, but the Phase 2 proposal is to be more proactive effort in addressing the properties and try to save them from reaching the blight guidelines, which leads to demolition and city acquisition, again, because of the cost that this is incurring on us. It will be enforced under the City Redevelopment Authority and will be under the city rules and regulations within our code office. The general outline of the cooperation will be as the City Redevelopment Authority will help, with help through the Mayor's Office, will create a listing of every property within the City of Sunbury and maintain that listing. There will be a walk-by inspection of every property on the list to establish that list. The documentation of all major blight issues only will be noted. This will be a citywide listing and a citywide enforcement effort. So that means every block, every neighborhood we're going to go through. It will correspond with property owners through letters, written deadlines, and fines if needed. The issues noted will be as follows, but not limited to. So we're not talking about particular things that the code office is looking for inspections at. We're talking about bad sidewalks, unsafe structures on the property, maybe a garage or a shed, outside maintenance issues, homes with painted facade peeling away, abandoned properties that are not on the Redevelopment Authority blight list, need of major cleanup and removal of rubbish, garbage, used tires, etc. And of course, the enforcement of the Chapter 130 property maintenance of the City of Sunbury's code. The goal is just to keep this moving and enlarge what we've been able to do. Somewhere along the line, I think in one of the past meetings we talked about 100 homes by 2022, and I really think that's possible. You're only talking about 10 homes a year. Now that means that's 10, for people who aren't aware, we actually have somebody that's come into Walnut Street and applied. I don't see any code office guys here. I'm sorry, Mike. Didn't somebody come in and apply for some permits to actually build a new house on Walnut Street, correct me?
That is correct,
Okay.
sir. 1000 block.
So that's like 2 in the same year. So it's just a great direction we want, and just want to keep moving. But we want to try to catch, again. I even took a couple. I was out walking around on Sunday. Took a couple photos of just some places that I don't know if they're on the list or not, but things that when we look at, again, we can address as to. And I know some of these things that the code office has been working on for 10 years, that type of thing. But we need to be able to, which was the original intent of my committee at the beginning, it didn't work. But this is right now at no cost to the City of Sunbury. Cheryl's going to be doing documentation. You should have heard about done with the riverfront and all that thing. So we're going to be able to do that, and the Redevelopment Authority itself will be gathering the information together, and then at the end of the year, we'll see what we want to do to get it off the ground for next year. But I think it's important that we understand that we want to work with everybody, but we're going to be firm and move forward. So that's my announcement tonight. Any questions on that?
When is the meeting next week, so I can attend it?
The meeting for
Redevelopment Authority.
Thursday, it's this week, no, next week, Thursday at 4,
this Thursday. We said this
This
Thursday.
Thursday or in April?
April, first
April,
Thursday of
that'd
the
be-
month.
Thursday.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
Because most of this is stuff that the code office does already. We look for bad sidewalks, bad garages, sheds, maintenance issues, the property maintenance code. That is what the code office does.
That's what they're supposed to do, yeah.
Well, yeah, you're right. That is what they're supposed to do.
Hire a part-time meter enforcement officer. I want to recommend that we interviewed 6 people out of about 22 that applied. Right now, I have the police officers out writing tickets, and that's not cost effective, but I want to nominate, or I want to make a motion to a gentleman by the name of Todd Harvey, lives in the city of Sunbury. He's clearly I'm concerned about, because people say about a part-time job, but there's probably, as I told everyone I interviewed, I don't know anybody that ever got a parking ticket and said thank you and was happy about it. So you need a special type of personality to deal with this, and so Mr. Harvey's going to know that he has a 60-day probation. His recommendation is we hire him for $9 an hour, and if he passes the probation, he goes to 10. So that's a form of a motion. I need a second.
Snyder,
Yes.
Bartella,
Yes.
Ister,
Yes.
Persing,
Yes. No job. Okay. Try one more time. Let's try Ken one more time.
Kevin.
yay, Evan,
Sorry, just get back in my car.
are you there?
Oh,
Can you hear us?
no.
Okay.
All right, we did the redevelopment authority stuff. We actually had a vote. So you're just new. We'll start from where we're at right now with the line, which is Joe. Joe's up next.
Okay, I have a hire part-time code officer here. It's for our compliance officer that we had advertised for. The person I picked out of the amount of applications was Heather Kelly. She has a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and she'll just be starting out part-time, just like we agreed to. The money's in my budget. She types 100 words a minute. She'll be working with Linda with our data entry with our new program at first, and she'll also be working with complaints and Joe a little better for dealing with the complaints like he does now. So let him get more time out with the inspections, and she'll also be investigating the vacant homes.
Joe,
Following up with that.
is this the person that we were supposed to be taking and reviewing the applications together? And you were going to give me back the
It's been
top
2
six?
months, and I need somebody in the office right now. We can still hire more. I have money. I was gonna hire 2 or
But
3,
Joe,
but this is
why
one.
didn't you give me, you were going to take the top 6 when we met, and give me the top 6. You never gave them to me.
That meeting ended in a screaming match. I mean, we didn't have any final say. The meeting was over. That was it. So I don't know how it ended really.
You don't remember the conversation about the 6 applicants that you went down through? You were explaining to me that one had an associate degree in construction code.
Yeah,
You remember that part of it?
I did the interviews. Yeah, so
When did you do interviews?
well, the one I told you about, but then nobody came to it, and I figured that. So I just held the other ones. I had to do it. It was going on 2 months.
Well, how come you never gave me
I didn't know you had to approve what I did in my department.
wait a second. We discussed this at the meeting. You remember the meeting, don't you? Help me out here.
Like I said, we discussed having a meeting between us. Kevin never showed up for it. You were the only one that was there, and we just didn't agree on anything, so.
Well, you never gave me the information. How come we-
She has all the applications.
No, you were going to take out the top 6. You remember that part of the conversation?
Yeah, well, there was never a top 6.
Well, you had a top 4. You were supposed to give them.
I got a top 3.
Well, did you give them to me?
No, I want to get all 3 of them. It wasn't going to be a pick and choose. I want to try all 3 of them and see which one works out.
Does this applicant have any background in the code office, Joe?
She did her externship at the probation office over at the courthouse, so she's familiar with our filing system.
Well, then I asked my code. They say filing, they say code. And was there any applicants that were qualified to be code officers?
She has a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, Kevin.
So what does that have to do with the code?
I don't know. What do our guys now have qualified, for code? I don't understand what the question is.
Just asking, Joe. I'm asking you a question. Can you give me an answer?
He wanted to know if any other applications had any code background.
Yeah, but none of them want a part-time job for $10 an hour.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Well, wait a second, it was advertised part-time. You mean the only people came in and filled an application out, knowing it was part-time, but don't want part-time. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah. Not for $10 an hour.
But who did you interview?
James Dickel, Heather, and Stephen Kassan. And I wanted to make a hire right now, but I have other people I can interview.
Well, in other words,
Why wasn't there so much scrutiny on the meter person? It was just a part-time person. I don't understand, but why not all the scrutiny on that one?
well, I'm concerned about the fact that we
Terry had
had,
interviews. I didn't tell any of you guys, I guess you could have came to interviews, but we had the interviews.
I'm back to our issue. I sit and listen to what you said, and I said, okay, well, you never, fulfilled the obligation. Well, help me out.
I'm making a motion on the table to hire this part-time person to help me out in the code office. I've been trying for 3 years to get part-time help to help out in the code office. Can I get a hire for the code
Well,
office?
you
I'm
had
looking for a
part-time,
second.
you had part-time, you fired them.
Yeah, for $15 an hour to work whenever they had time. I need people to work when I need them.
So you weren't going to give me an answer regarding you not giving the information, you just passing it off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask you a
Next
question?
question.
I mean,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
just understanding the fact that we don't typically, you're right, we didn't get into the nuts and bolts of this person. Is the person qualified? She's got a bachelor's degree. It's a $10 an hour job. It's not a $20 an hour job. It's what, 20 hours a week? And she's going to be on probation for no different than anybody else, what, 60, 90 days, right? So ultimately, what we're really talking about is hiring a young lady at $10 an hour for 90 days, which is a standard probation, to see what she does. We don't typically get into the nuts and bolts of that kind of position all the time with each other, bantering back and forth. So,
Well, the problem was, I took my time, came here for a meeting with Joe.
okay.
Okay, he told me what he was going to do, and he doesn't do it. It's just like no big deal.
That's the way things go around. It's typical.
Unfortunately,
Not with me, though.
Oh, no, not you.
No, Joe. If I told you I was going to do something, I would have done it for you.
Finish the riverfront.
Can I ask one question? Get away
What
from
was that,
this?
Joe?
I said, finish the riverfront, put the fountain together. Everything's behind schedule. So, I know. Nobody keeps their word around here, but,
I'm sorry, you have me lost in that one. You want to drink out of the fountain, I'll turn it on for you.
My question is this, and getting back to the budget time, when they put that $25,000, because everybody knows I wanted that to be part of the redevelopment authority, which of course didn't work out. So is there any way, shape, or form this lady can do anything with the redevelopment authority?
That's
It's
what
not
I
going to
said,
happen.
with the vacant properties, you're gonna help coordinate with, investigate the vacant properties, find out if they really are still vacant. We have list upon list upon list of vacant properties that need people to.
I want you to tell me here that you're going to coordinate it with the redevelopment authority.
I told you, that's what I said earlier, we're gonna coordinate with the redevelopment authority, yes. Everything on your list here, we already do, so I don't see how we could not coordinate with you. So, that's fine, that's great.
Hired from the police department.
I guess my only concern is that when it comes to hiring anyone within the code department office, unfortunately, as we all know, what happens is the personalities conflict and it gets muddied. And in this case, I'm looking at it as just, regardless of who the person is, any person we hire, just like we hired tonight with your person, is under a 90-day probation. If for whatever reason, Jim, let's say, Kevin, you, anyone around this table, feels as if this person's not qualified and doing an adequate job 90 days into it, correct? we pretty much essentially as a group could say this person has not done the job, and we're going to ask them to leave. They know that coming into it. We know that when we hire them. Is there any harm, I guess, Jim, in giving this person a 90-day shot and seeing what comes of it?
The only problem this time, what really upsets me, I listened to what he's gonna do, and he never done it. Apparently, he just does what he wants to do, but there's some good qualified people on this list.
Okay. I've not seen the list, so I honestly have not seen anybody.
Joe told me what he was gonna pick up, I mean, all kinds of qualifications. I cannot believe that all these people signed for part-time jobs and nobody wanted it. But he only did 3 interviews, and there was a whole list of people, okay? So, I mean, he picked and choose who he wanted, and I don't think possibly this is, you know, the best applicant. I'm not sure. I never had a chance to talk to him.
I honestly haven't talked with any of them either, so I don't know.
How many hours is it, Joe? 20, 25, what are you giving?
It won't be 25, it's going to start out probably 10, 15 hours a week just to get worked into the system, trained a little bit. I need data entry more than anything right now to get these problem properties entered into the system so we can map them, so we can see where the clusters are, so we can work with the redevelopment authority and where the problem places are in town where we have clusters of complaints, clusters of vacant properties. Without that kind of data in the mapping system, it's kind of hard to use that program to its full potential. So, and I don't have anybody for data entry at this point at all that can work with a computer, so I need that.
All right, so just, what was the motion? Did you give the hours and like mine's 60 days, you're gonna be 60 or 90, or what are you for probation?
That's up to you. I mean,
Yeah.
60 or 90, I mean, by that time I'm going to know whether she's working out or not. I mean, if she's not working out, then that's what, we have a whole list of applicants to.
If you're doing 60, you just want to keep it consistent.
Yeah,
60,
well,
60 days.
That's only part-time.
Well, there's a point behind it, it's just,
Well, I understand. It's like it's a full-time person. Okay, who made motion? Somebody second it?
I'll second.
Martello?
Yes.
Ister?
no.
Persing?
Yes.
Snyder?
Yes.
Troop?
Yes.
Approve the pay vouchers. Todd, you got them?
Yes, we do. As noted in the emails, there's actually, there was an original list sent out and then a second addition to that. As shown on the agenda, the amount actually we're requesting to make payment from our payables this evening out of the general fund totals $141,246.40. I'd also like to make, in addition to that motion, that we pay $471.90 from our liquid fuels account. Thank you.
Ister?
Yes.
Persing?
Yes.
Snyder?
Yes.
Troop?
Yes.
Martello?
Yes.
Audience comment? Anything in particular? Okay, let me give you a camera update. Todd and I met up at the, we have a meeting next week with the Municipal Authority for Front Street, the entire Front Street project, and then we met up at the Fort Discovery area, which we're having a lot of problems up there. So those are the first 2 places. We're putting that together right now. We're meeting with the foundation for Fort Discovery and with the Municipal Authority itself. We'll be in the pump stations next week. If you see us, we're not breaking in. We're just checking out how we're going to set them up. So that's going to be the first 2 areas that will be taking place. And hopefully in the next meeting, we're going to keep announcing other places that we're going. We're trying to, in Todd's tough schedule, we're trying to fit in at least a night a week. And we feel that once we get it established to the point where it's going to be set up, then it's just a matter of moving it and working with the various organizations to get it established. So the cameras are here, everything's, the material's here. It's just a matter of installation, and we're going to be up and running on that. And city crew's going to do some of Jim and Kevin's guys are going to do some stuff. Municipal Authority, again, we'll be working with them. So anything you want to add to that? Did I miss anything? Or keep it moving? Everything is, things are different everywhere. We're going to go, they're different, but we're going to get them set up, and hopefully by the end of the year, they're all hooked up.
Sorry, I did actually have one addition to that, and it goes back to the email that you sent earlier. Jim had sent me an email giving note that one of the light standards we had damage to, and it might be a good opportunity to do that experiment with Philips and the surveillance system that we had presented last time around. Actually, the gentleman who presented, he actually did send me correspondence, Alan, the earlier part of this week. They are willing basically to do that trial up to 12 standards. So we'll have a chance to look around. And when you're thinking about it, if you could come up maybe with 12 different locations, that one that you're talking about in the email might be a good starting point, but we have 11 others that they're willing
But
to
here
do.
again, he also mentioned about the ones in front, like the regular fit, okay, with LED.
Right.
I would try one of those, okay?
That's what they're looking to do, retrofit with the LED and put the camera in for us to try it at 12 locations.
Then the Copperhead, I have to try.
Oh, that's big, guys.
Yep.
These are gonna be on buildings or all on poles, or?
All on poles.
But down here on Fourth Market, the LED with the camera going out, I would try one of those down there,
Okay.
okay? So when, are they gonna sit down with us, or?
If you let me know, I guess you can give me a list of the locations you prefer that we'd actually want to have those first 12 set up at. Then I can actually have a meeting with him, so when he comes in, we can go check out those sites, and we'll make sure that he coordinates it then.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good. Spring cleanup dates, April 23rd, 25th, and 30th, May 2nd. Anything, Jim, you got to add to that, where that? Okay. KIZ open house, that's tomorrow from 4 to 7, right out the end of the parking lot here. Everybody gets the opportunity, want to stop over and learn what that's all about. We're all getting educated in that at the same time. I know the Senator Gordner will be there, Representative Culver will be there, and it's my understanding that Congressman Martello will also, Martello, how about Barletta? He'll be there also. And then there's a grand opening for Congressman Barletta's office on Front Street, at the Wolverton House. That's, I guess, immediately following or within the same time limit or something like that. 5 to 7. 4 to 7 out back, 5 to 7 on Front Street. Anything else?
Yeah, just remind us, street cleaning starts April 1st, folks.
April 1st, that's not far away. Remember that when you get that warning, or if you don't get a warning, whatever comes first. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, the building back here that they, cycles were going to turn into a Veterans Affairs,
Yes.
has that fallen through?
Well, that's where the KIZ is going to be tomorrow. And you can ask them over there at what level that's part of that building is still supposed to be set up for that. I don't know what level the government's funding at or if it is funding it yet at all. But that's part of that building. But that's where the KIZ is going also, in that same building. So if you get a chance to come over tomorrow to see the KIZ and how that actually works, and I'm sure Mr. Sykel will be there, we'll ask him where he's at that time.
Okay, I have one other question.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any way that some patch can be put in an alley? The alley is a very small one-block alley between Fairmount and 11th Street, and it runs between Line and Reagan. I don't know the name of the street. It runs one block. It is so full of potholes. It is very hard on your tires, and the potholes are deep.
We'll document that, and when Mr. Troop gets back home from his trip tonight, we'll make sure he's the first guy. Okay, there's Mike. Can you get that spot, Mike?
You got it.
Thanks, Mike.
There we have that covered for you. That doesn't mean it's going to be filled tomorrow. I'm just going to go see
I
what they can
know,
do for
but
you.
it's very, very bad. It's one of the worst alleys around.
Okay. Okay. Anything else? I want to thank everybody for coming. This meeting's adjourned.